Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's Webcamera show. It's me, your host, John Onolani Remus IV. When feeling depressed or that no one else is caring or paying attention to me, I think it's because I am out of balance or letting others' beliefs and their will be spoken on top of mine. And I'm not talking about will such as a boss tells you to finish a task, talking about will such as they say things like that contradict your lifestyle and beliefs and preferences. Like for instance, if you're on the bus and or in public and you hear people talking about something you don't like whatever it is, like whether it's particular music or whatever, I encourage you uh, to, instead of just tolerating it or sustaining yourself in the situation, to try to separate yourself from anything that you don't like. And feeling uh, depressed may also be because you're not spending enough time with, you know, your own thoughts and your own beliefs, and of course not self-pleasuring yourself enough and expecting that somehow somebody else is going to do it for you. And it's sort of a and of course it may be because more conventional reasons such as uh, diet and exercise issues. I like to do little push-ups and pull-ups and little weight exercises throughout the day, and also go on nice long jogs when it's cool out, either early in the morning or during the evening, and just go on, a long jog for half an hour until I feel like I want to go back. So I take responsibility for all my feelings. And what I decided to do is 1 second, take a deep breath. I'm looking at my notes here. All right, so I don't make my feelings contingent upon what other people do, and I I know that if I break my arm or scar my face or somehow uh, my body's um, defaced, I still believe that my soulmate will like me exactly uh, for my personality and like myself, not even if my body is scarred. And mm, I'm entering the habit of talking to myself. In other words, describing myself before waiting for others to say who I am. Like I like to call myself a great prince, a sacred person, and not hoping that sometime another person will refer to me as such, but rather I just doing it on my own. So what are some strategies to determine who your I used to use the term soulmate. Now I kind of like the term intimate life partner, or ILP. How do you determine who that is? Well, I think there are some strategies, including asking the universe for signs. Clear your mind, deal with, you know, any other emotions you're dealing with, and And then you'll be in a place to notice the signs and focus on one person at a time. I think is also realistic because that way you're not you can conclude things like you can determine okay it's definitely not that person and then move on. I think it's good to imagine if you would be able to um, eat with her and walk around in public with her and during this time period in which you're preparing, you can say, for your ILP, I encourage you to not talk to anyone or let anyone else touch you in regards to intimate things, and just realize that there's only one life partner that there can be. Others could be a potential lover, but uh, um, just eliminate the seduction factor by talking to somebody online or in a space that's conducive to really learning about a person, uh, and not before you actually just get caught up in the lust factor. So, on another topic, when someone brings me down, I have the option to bring them back up. And with my visualizations and communications, then I can really win and keep the peace within myself instead of holding up angry thoughts against others. I, being God, will not make the storm go away for John, but with me, he will always be okay and not alone. See, without doing the light work, beaming that brilliant white light around, visualizing other people doing it, etc., I believe I also feel a sense of aloneness. And, people can't tell me who I am, or what my creative pursuits and career might be. I have to discover that. Hmm. I've noticed that that which I am affectionate towards and think is mine can really control me. So that's kind of like the ego. A good example of that, besides thinking that a person belongs to you, it would be like thinking that your child belongs to you, and they're in that sense you'll be less prone to properly discipline them because you think that that's you, but I believe that everyone is an individual person and that they should be encouraged to make choices for themselves and learn to deal with things on their own instead of being codependent on others. And paradoxically, I believe that that would create a more harmonious society in which everybody dealt with their feelings, communicated and expressed their concerns instead of expecting others to do so for them. I think that the police and military should be vigilant so that the general populace and civilians at large don't feel compelled to take the law into their own hands. When upset at somebody, say my intent was, or when somebody is upset at me, I say my intent was not to upset you, and All right. If you're tired at the end of the day and you're waiting for something to be over and hoping that you're going to eventually be on vacation or something, or retire, I believe that's an illusory expectation because really, I think that. Hold on a second. I'm looking at my notes here. I think that uh, an entire lifetime can occur in one day, in the sense of you wake up in the morning and you have a new experience, you have some intimate experiences either with yourself or your ILP, and you then go to sleep, and it's like you've had a whole experience in one day. And instead of waiting for there to be like an end, try to make one day encapsulate a lifetime in one day. It's just a thought there. So in other words, what I wish for right now, let's say I'm thinking next month or next week, I might do a different exercise routine or this and that. I think I should either do it today or program it into my head today, like create a mental program by writing it down and repeating it so it becomes a part of my thought space. And just let's see. All right, more notes. Let's not complicate the issue of using words like hope or love or fear or evil. Let's just simplify the whole spectrum of communication by saying either good or bad when talking about our feelings, or different, because there is the case in which people like different things and they like to talk about different things, and those things that they like make up who they are and make up who they should focus on as families, as a family. Mm. So when you're when you're feeling good, then you can tell other people. When you're feeling bad, then you can tell other people that you felt bad about something they did, instead of trying to attack them and say, "Oh, you're mean," or "You're an a-hole," or whatnot. And I encourage you to try doing this light work, because I don't think the human mind can do what I'm talking about alone. Really enjoy life and enjoy the sacredness and bliss of balance and direction towards your ILP. Typically, when asked what hope is, people say, excuse me, excuse me. Typically, when asked what hope is, people say it's a belief that no matter what, things will improve, or hope is wanting something that will to happen, whether it's good or bad, just a desire for something to occur. I think it's good to confidently expect and figure out what I put my hope in, or what has worked before. And since I can only control myself, uh, uh, I focus towards joy, and I hope for family and loving relationships. But first, for most importantly, that of myself and my intimate life partner.